What really happens in that exact moment you black out in bed? That split second when your consciousness just disappears and you plunge into the darkness we call sleep. Something phenomenal is happening. Your soul is not resting. It is preparing for what is, without a doubt, the most important journey of your entire day. It connects with dimensions and realities that you're waking. Logical mind simply isn't equipped to process. What we call blacking out is, in reality, the precise moment that our consciousness transfers from this dense, physical body into a much subtler, more powerful, and more ancient vehicle, your light body, your astral body. Or maybe you had those dreams that were so incredibly vivid, so detailed and emotionally real, that they felt more real than reality itself. I'm telling you, those weren't just ordinary dreams. They were fragments. They were the distorted, fragmented memories of experiences your soul actually lived while it was traveling in other planes of existence. A third, if you live to be 75 years old, that means you will have spent 25 full years in a state of sleep. Does it make any sense that nature, or God, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, would design a system where we are simply switched off, useless, for 25 years of our existence? Of course not. The answer is a resounding no. These hours are not wasted time. They are fundamental for our spiritual development, for deep energetic healing, and for making connections that completely transcend our physical reality. Most of us have been taught to believe that sleep is just a state of total unconsciousness, a simple biological process where the body rests, and the mind finally shuts down for the night. But I am here to tell you that this is one of the greatest illusions our modern world holds onto. The truth is infinitely more extraordinary, and at the same time, more profoundly disturbing than you can possibly imagine. When you close your eyes, when your breathing starts to get deeper and slower, when your muscles finally relax and you get that strange, familiar sensation of falling. During those 8 hours you spend seemingly unconscious, your soul is more active than it ever is during the day. It travels, it explores, it learns. Just think about it for a second. You spend 1/3 of your entire life sleeping. When you were a child, do you remember waking up some mornings with a distinct feeling that you had just lived an entire lifetime during the night? Or maybe you had those dreams that were so incredibly vivid, so detailed and emotionally real, that they felt more real than reality itself. I'm telling you, those weren't just ordinary dreams. They were fragments. They were the distorted, fragmented memories of experiences your soul actually lived while it was traveling in other planes of existence. This physical body, this collection of flesh and bone that you call me, is just a temporary vehicle. It's a spacesuit we wear for our journey on Earth. During sleep, your true essence, your soul, breaks free from the heavy physical limitations of this suit. It gains access to realities that exist on frequencies that are completely different from our own. It's as if you spent your entire life looking at the world through a tiny, dirty keyhole, and then, every night, someone suddenly removes the door, and you can finally see the entire universe. But here's the part that is truly mind-blowing. Your soul never, ever sleeps. While your physical brain slows down and your 5 senses shut off one by one, your spiritual consciousness, your true self, is wide awake and operating at an extremely high frequency. It's during these sacred hours that you receive guidance from your higher self. It's when you undergo profound energetic healing that you're not even aware of. It's when you download knowledge and even receive clear warnings about the future. Have you ever gone to bed with a problem that was tormenting you, only to wake up the next morning with a perfect solution crystal clear in your mind? Or have you ever woken up with a powerful, unshakable intuition that you needed to do something or call someone, and it turned out to be exactly the right thing to do, that didn't happen by chance? That was a download. Your soul, on its nightly journey, had access to information that your conscious, logical mind could never have processed. During sleep, the filters of our physical reality dissolve, and you are able to see with a clarity that completely transcends the 5 senses. Imagine for a moment if you knew, with absolute certainty, That every single night you have direct access to an infinite library of cosmic knowledge. Imagine you could connect with beings of higher wisdom, receive deep energetic healing for your mind and body, and even influence future events in your life. Imagine if you could consciously transform those 8 hours of unconsciousness into a period of accelerated spiritual growth and mastery. Well, that's exactly what is already happening. Every single night, whether you are aware of it or not, the only difference is that now, by hearing these words, you are beginning to awaken to this profound reality. And once you truly understand what your soul experiences during sleep, your life will never, ever be the same. What you are about to discover about the soul as separation from the body will completely revolutionize your understanding of human consciousness itself. Let's call this first step the separation. There is a specific moment, right as you're drifting off, when something extraordinary happens. It is that instant that many people are familiar with, that feeling as if you race suddenly falling or sinking rapidly into your bed, which sometimes causes you to jolt awake. This is not just a random physical sensation or a neurological glitch. It is, quite literally, the feeling of your soul beginning to disconnect from your physical body. This process happens in distinct stages. First, your consciousness begins to detach from the 5 senses. You stop perceiving the subtle sounds in your environment, the hum of the fan, the ticking of the clock. You no longer feel the temperature of the air on your skin or the weight of your own body on the mattress. It's as if someone is slowly turning down the volume of the physical world around you. But here is the incredible detail most people miss. As your physical perception fades away, your spiritual perception begins to intensify. Your inner senses start coming online. In the second stage, what the ancient mystics called etheric separation occurs. Your soul, which during your waking hours is firmly anchored to your physical body, begins to loosen its grip. Imagine that for your entire life, you've been wearing a very tight, restrictive spacesuit. During sleep, you finally get to unzip that suit, step out of it, and breathe freely for the first time. This separation isn't instantaneous. It's a gradual process that can take anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, depending on your level of relaxation and your spiritual development. Some people are naturally more sensitive to this transition and can actually perceive it as it is happening. Have you ever had that strange sensation of floating just above your own body? Or woken up with the powerful impression that you were just returning from somewhere very, very far away? These are not your imagination. These are the telltale signs of the separation process. Interestingly, this separation doesn't happen all at once. There are different levels to it. On the most superficial level, your soul remains very close to your physical body, maybe floating just a few inches above it. It's in this state that you have the most common, everyday dreams, the ones that are a jumbled mix of memories from your day, combined with a bit of subconscious symbolism. It's your mind trying to process the day's events. But when the separation deepens, when your soul detaches more fully, it gains the freedom to travel immeasurable distances. During a deep separation, you are no longer bound by the laws of physics as we know them. You can pass through solid walls. You can instantly travel to other countries or even visit other planets. You can explore dimensions that don't even exist on our physical plane. Many people report having incredibly vivid dreams in which they were flying or moving in ways that are impossible in real life. The truth is, these weren't just dreams. They were real, fragmented memories of experiences your soul actually had during the state of deep separation. And there's another fascinating phenomenon that occurs during this process: the expansion of consciousness when your soul is free from the dense, logical limitations of the physical brain. It regains its natural, dormant capabilities. You might spontaneously access memories from past lives. You might receive incredibly clear and accurate information about the future. Or you might even communicate telepathically with other souls who are also in a state of separation. Now, what makes all of this possible, and what keeps it safe, is that your soul always maintains a connection to your body through what is known in many spiritual traditions as the silver cord. This energetic cord functions as a lifeline, an unbreakable tether that allows you to return to your physical body whenever it's necessary. It is virtually impossible to get lost. During the separation, your soul, guided by this cord, always finds its way back home. Some people, through dedicated practice, can even develop the ability to consciously induce this separation. They learn to maintain their awareness throughout the entire process, turning what would be an ordinary night's sleep into a deliberate, conscious spiritual exploration. We often call this astral projection or having an out-of-body experience. And it's possible to learn through specific relaxation techniques, meditation, and intense mental focus. It is also crucial to understand that the quality of your nightly journey is directly influenced by your emotional and spiritual state during the day. If you go to bed filled with anger, fear, or anxiety, your soul carries those heavy, low-frequency energies with it, and you may end up attracting negative experiences or entities during the separation. On the other hand, if you cultivate a state of peace, gratitude, and love before you fall asleep, your nightly journey becomes a powerful experience of growth, learning, and healing. This is why practices like a pre-sleep gratitude journal can be so incredibly powerful. They literally set the GPS for your soul's journey that night. The environment where you sleep also plays a huge role. Rooms with high levels of electromagnetic pollution from electronics, or that contain objects with negative energetic imprints, or even spaces where there have been a lot of emotional conflicts, can all hinder or contaminate the separation process. This is why so many ancient spiritual traditions have always placed a huge emphasis on purifying the space where one rests. But here is what is most impressive of all. This separation is not a rare phenomenon. It's not something that's exclusive to special, gifted people or advanced spiritual masters. It happens to everyone, every single night. The only difference lies in the level of awareness each person has about the process. Most people remember only tiny, distorted fragments through their dreams. Others wake up with powerful intuitions they can't explain, and a very small few can learn to maintain full, conscious awareness throughout the entire experience. Now, once your soul has separated, it doesn't just wander aimlessly through space. It navigates through three very distinct planes of existence, each with its own laws, its own inhabitants, and its own unique possibilities. Understanding these three planes is absolutely essential if you want to grasp what is really happening during your hours of sleep. The first plane is what we can call the physical etheric plane. This plane exists at a vibrational frequency that is very close to our own material reality. You can think of it as an energetic, slightly distorted blueprint or an expanded version of the physical world. In this plane, the laws of physics still partially apply, but with much more flexibility. When your soul is traveling in this plane, you can still recognize familiar places. You can see people you know, and you can experience situations that make sense within the context of your daily life. It's in the physical etheric plane that most of our normal dreams occur. Those dreams where you're in your house, but it has a few extra rooms that were never there before. Or you dream that you're with your family, living out a situation that could happen in real life, but with some strange, surreal distortions. Maybe you dream that you met a friend from 10 years ago in a place you've never been. These experiences happen because your soul is navigating the etheric, energetic version of those places and people. And interestingly, it is in this plane that you can also interact with the souls of other people who are also sleeping. Have you ever had a dream about someone and then the next day, that person tells you that they also dreamed about you on the same night? That wasn't a coincidence. Your souls actually met in the physical etheric plane and shared a real, energetic experience. Even though your physical bodies were sleeping in completely different places, this plane is where we process our daily lives, resolve minor energetic conflicts, and interact with the subtle energy of our immediate physical environment. The second plane is where things get much more interesting and infinitely more complex. This is the intermediate astral plane. Here, Your soul has access to a realm that is governed primarily by emotion, desire, and thought. This is a plane where creation happens instantly, through the power of pure intention. If you think of being on a beautiful beach, you will immediately appear there. If you desire something, it can materialize right before you. It's in the intermediate astral plane that you can experience the most impossible adventures. You can live out fantasies that would never be possible in the physical world, or you can be forced to face your deepest, darkest fears in highly dramatized and symbolic ways. This is the realm where those epic dreams happen, the ones where you're a hero saving the world, or the terrifying nightmares where you're battling monstrous creatures. These experiences aren't random. They are profound opportunities for spiritual growth. They are the soul's way of processing deep inner conflicts, healing emotional wounds, and expanding its own consciousness. But the intermediate astral plane is also inhabited by other beings. Some of these are the souls of people who have passed away, but haven't yet moved on to higher realms. Others are non-human entities that have always existed on these levels of reality. And it's very important to understand that not all of these beings are benevolent. Some of them actually feed on negative human emotions like fear, anger, or sadness. This is why you can sometimes wake up from a particularly intense nightmare feeling completely and utterly drained, as if you had been in a real fight all night. You were in an energetic fight, and your fear was the energy source for another being. The third plane is the higher mental plane, which is also known in some traditions as the plane of the Akashic records. When your soul reaches this realm, it has access to a level of information that completely transcends your personal experience. It's like entering an infinite, cosmic library that contains all the knowledge that has ever existed, and all the knowledge that ever will exist. Here, you can access clear memories of your past lives. You can receive direct, unambiguous guidance about your future path. Or you can come to understand profound universal truths that your conscious, logical mind could never possibly process in the higher mental plane. You don't dream in the traditional sense. You experience direct downloads of pure information, pure knowing. Many of humanity's greatest discoveries and artistic masterpieces happen when inventors, artists, or scientists unknowingly access this plane during their sleep. People like Nikola Tesla, Einstein, and even the chemist Kekel, who discovered the structure of the benzene molecule after a dream of a snake eating its own tail, all reported receiving their most revolutionary insights through dreams or altered states of consciousness. They were accessing the higher mental plane. It's also in this plane that you can communicate directly with your spiritual guides, with ascended masters, and even with the higher aspects of your own soul. These communications are rarely remembered as ordinary, jumbled dreams. Usually, you just wake up with a deep, profound sense of peace, a brand new understanding of some aspect of your life, or an unshakable certainty about which direction you need to take. The transition between these three planes happens naturally throughout the night. Your soul might begin its journey in the physical etheric plane, then travel to the intermediate astral to process some emotions, and then ascend to the higher mental plane to receive guidance, before it gradually returns to the physical body. The amount of time you spend in each plane depends entirely on your level of spiritual development, your energetic needs at that time, and the specific lessons or challenges your soul needs to face. Spiritually developed people can eventually learn to consciously navigate these planes, choosing where they want to go and what they want to explore. But for most of us, we are subconsciously guided to the planes we most need to visit. If you're going through a period of intense emotional healing after a breakup, for example, you will likely spend more time in the intermediate astral plane. If you're seeking answers to complex, life-altering problems, your soul will naturally be drawn to the higher mental plane. What's most fascinating is that each plane offers unique and powerful opportunities for growth in the physical etheric. You can heal relationships and resolve surface-level conflicts. In the intermediate astral, you can transform deep-seated emotional patterns and overcome your greatest fears. And in the higher mental, you can expand your consciousness and receive direct divine guidance every single night. You have free access to these 3 powerful spiritual universities. Now, let's take a closer look at that crucial element we mentioned earlier, the silver cord. This energetic cord is, quite literally, your lifeline. It is the only thing that connects your soul to your physical body during your nightly journeys, and it's what prevents your soul from getting permanently lost in the vast astral planes, ensuring that you always return safely to your physical body by morning. The silver cord is not a metaphor or an abstract spiritual concept. It is a real, tangible energetic structure that can be perceived by clairvoyant individuals and has even reportedly been photographed using special techniques like Kirlian photography. It generally connects to the physical body at the solar plexus or the heart region, and it extends infinitely, following your soul no matter how far it travels during its journey. Imagine the cord like the safety cable used by a mountain climber. No matter how far or how high they climb, there is always that secure connection that can bring them back to safety. The silver cord works in exactly the same way for your soul. It actually pulses with an energy that is in sync with your physical heart, constantly transmitting information back and forth between your sleeping physical body and your traveling soul. The appearance of the silver cord can vary from person to person, and it also changes depending on your physical and spiritual health. In healthy, vibrant, and spiritually balanced individuals, the cord shines with an intense, silvery white light. It's flexible, resilient, and strong. In people who are sick or who are emotionally unbalanced and going through a hard time, the cord may appear duller, thinner, or it might even show what look like energetic knots or dark, shadowy areas. But here's a detail that might surprise you. The silver cord is not completely indestructible. There are certain extreme situations where it can be damaged, and when that happens, the consequences can be serious. Things like extreme emotional trauma, a serious accident that causes a coma, or very intense energetic interference can all affect the integrity of the cord. When the cord is damaged, you might experience some very strange symptoms. You might have extremely vivid dreams that feel more real than your waking life, and you might have trouble distinguishing between dream and reality when you first wake up. You might have sensations of floating or feeling disconnected from your body during the day, or you could even have spontaneous near-death experiences. Some people who have gone through intense trauma report feeling as if they are partially out of their body for days or even weeks afterwards. This is a sign of a damaged or stressed silver cord. Have you ever woken up with that jolt, feeling like you were returning from a very distant place, or felt like it took a few seconds for your consciousness to fully click back into your body? Go ahead and share your experience in the comments, because this is far more common than you think. The silver cord also responds directly to your emotional states. During periods of high stress, anxiety, or depression, the cord can become more tense and rigid, which actually limits your soul's ability to travel to the higher, more healing planes during sleep. It is as if your physical body is in such a state of alarm that it is constantly pulling your soul back, preventing it from traveling to the very places it needs to go to receive healing and guidance. There's also a fascinating phenomenon related to the silver cord that occurs during near-death experiences. People who have had these experiences often report seeing a brilliant, shining cord connecting their astral body to their physical body. As they travel through the tunnel of light, many of them describe the exact moment when they felt the cord powerfully pulling them back into their body, sometimes against their will, because they wanted to continue the transcendent experience. Certain spiritual traditions have even developed specific techniques to strengthen and purify the silver cord. These practices can include specific visualizations, breathing exercises, and even energetic cleansing rituals. When the cord is strong and clean, you experience clearer dreams, you have smoother awakenings, and you feel a general sense of being more grounded and connected to your soul's wisdom during the day. And importantly, the silver cord is a two-way street. It also carries information back to the physical body. All the experiences, all the lessons, and all the healing that your soul receives during its nightly journeys are transmitted back down the cord and integrated into your physical and energetic systems. usually on the subconscious level. Physical death only occurs when the silver cord is finally and permanently severed. And this break is usually not a sudden snap, but a gradual process that can take hours or even days. This is why people who are in a coma or in the dying process so often report having profound out-of-body experiences. Their soul is already preparing for its final separation, but it is still connected by that final thinning thread. Now, we need to talk about an aspect of these nightly journeys that many people prefer to ignore, but which is absolutely crucial for your spiritual protection. During your travels, you don't just encounter benevolent beings and spiritual guides. The astral planes are vast, and there are entities that literally feed on human vital energy. And the period of sleep is when we are at our most vulnerable to these kinds of attacks. These beings are often called astral parasites. They are entities that exist in the lower frequencies of the astral planes and have developed a dependency on human emotional energy in order to survive. They feed primarily on intense, negative emotions, fear, anger, sadness, despair, anxiety, and depression. The more intense the negative emotion you generate, the more nourishing it is for these entities. Have you ever woken up feeling completely exhausted after a full 8 hours of sleep, as if you'd run a marathon? Or have you ever gone through periods where your nightmares were so intense and so frequent that you actually became afraid to go to sleep? These are often the first signs that your energy may be getting drained during sleep by astral parasites. These entities are extremely intelligent, and they have developed sophisticated strategies to get their food. They can influence your dreams, creating specific scenarios that are designed to provoke intense feelings of fear, anguish, or anger. Imagine you're sleeping peacefully, and suddenly you find yourself in a terrifying nightmare where you're being chased. That terror you feel isn't just an illusion in your mind. It is real, palpable energy that is being generated by your soul, and it is being immediately consumed by the astral parasite that initiated the dream. What makes this even more disturbing is that some of these astral parasites are highly specialized. There are entities that feed specifically on the energy of fear, particularly the fear of death. Others feed on the energy of anger and hatred. Each type has developed its own specific methods for provoking these particular emotions in sleeping humans. Energy vampires are an even more dangerous category. Unlike astral parasites, which just feed on the ambient negative energy you produce, energy vampires can directly drain your core life force. They can attach themselves to your silver cord and literally suck the vital energy that should be nourishing and regenerating your physical body during sleep. How do you know if you're being visited by an energy vampire? The signs are classic. You wake up feeling more tired than when you went to bed. Even after a long sleep, you feel an inexplicable, bone-deep fatigue during the day that doesn't improve with rest. You might have a vague but persistent impression that something is sucking your energy during the night. Some people even wake up with unexplained physical marks on their body, like scratches or bruises, that weren't there when they went to sleep. And then there's the frightening phenomenon known as sleep paralysis with a malignant presence. This is when you wake up mentally. You're fully conscious, but your body is completely paralyzed, and you feel an oppressive, malevolent presence in the room with you. Many people in this state report seeing dark, shadowy figures, feeling a heavy pressure on their chest, or even having the distinct sensation that someone is sitting on top of them. While modern science may label this a simple neurological disorder, in many spiritual traditions, this is understood as a direct, physical-level attack by a parasitic entity. So why are some people more targeted by these entities than others? There are several factors that can make a person's energy more attractive to these parasites. People who live in a state of constant stress, who habitually cultivate negative emotions, who use drugs or alcohol excessively, or who are going through intense emotional traumas all emit an energetic signature that acts like a beacon for these entities. Your low vibrational state is like a bright, flashing neon sign that says, "All-you-can-eat buffet here." The environment you live in can also become infested with astral parasites. Homes where there have been constant fights and arguments, hospitals, cemeteries, or any place where a tragedy has occurred can house these entities. When you sleep in an infested environment, you are exposing yourself to potential attacks, even if your own personal energy is relatively balanced and positive. What makes all of this even more concerning is that astral parasites can create a state of mutual dependency. They can subtly influence your thoughts and emotions during the day, inducing you to generate more of the negative emotions that they feed on. It's as if they are actively cultivating you, like a farmer tending to their crops, to ensure they have a steady food supply. People who suffer from chronic depression, persistent anxiety, or constant, irrational anger are often, on a subconscious level, being influenced by these entities. Some of the more sophisticated astral parasites can even mimic the appearance of our deceased loved ones. They can assume the form of a departed family member in a dream in order to gain your trust and get close to your energy. So if you are having recurring dreams of dead relatives who are trying to convince you to go with them, or who are delivering negative, fear-based messages, there is a very high probability that you are dealing with a disguised astral parasite. There's also the phenomenon of parasitic energetic cords. Some entities can create a permanent energetic connection with a person, allowing them to drain their energy not just during sleep, but continuously, 24/7. These connections can last for years or even decades if they are not consciously identified and removed. And what's most disturbing of all is that children are especially vulnerable to these kinds of attacks. Their vital energy is pure, more potent, and more intense, which makes them prime targets. Children who suddenly develop intense nighttime fears, who refuse to sleep alone, or who constantly report seeing monsters in their rooms may very well be under attack from astral parasites. But it is not all doom and gloom. There are highly effective methods to protect yourself from these attacks, and knowledge is always your first and most powerful shield. Simply by understanding that these beings exist and learning how they operate, you are already 50% more protected. Fear of the unknown is one of their most powerful weapons against us. The good news is that you have far more power in this situation than you realize. Your intention, your spiritual energy, and your emotional state are what ultimately determine the type of entities you attract. Simple techniques like a heartfelt prayer before bed, visualizing a shield of white light around your body, or even keeping certain protective crystals near your bed can create incredibly effective energetic barriers. Now, this leads us to an extraordinary state of consciousness where you can maintain full lucidity during your soulless nightly journeys. This is, of course, the lucid dream. When you develop this skill, you stop being just a passive, unwitting observer of your astral experiences and you become the conscious director of your own spiritual adventure. In a lucid dream, you are fully aware that you are dreaming while your soul is navigating through the different planes of existence. It's like having spiritual superpowers. You can fly at will, you can pass through walls, you can visit any place in the universe. You can imagine, you can communicate with beings from other realms, and you can even completely transform your surroundings through the power of your intention. But lucid dreaming isn't just a fun, recreational experience or a form of escapism. It is an incredibly powerful tool for accelerated spiritual growth and self-discovery. When you can maintain your awareness during the astral separation, you can deliberately seek out spiritual teachings, you can request deep energetic healing, or you can find the answers to your most important life questions. One of the first and simplest techniques to develop the ability to have lucid dreams is to perform reality checks throughout your day. By constantly getting into the habit of asking yourself, am I dreaming right now? And then looking for signs to confirm whether you're awake or asleep. You train your mind to do this automatically. You can look closely at your hands in a dream. They often look distorted. You can check a piece of written text, look away, and then look back in a dream. The text will often have changed. Or you can try to push the finger of one hand through the palm of your other hand. In a dream, it will often pass right through. These little glitches in the dream reality can act as a trigger, alerting your consciousness that you are in an astral state. Another powerful technique is setting a pre-sleep intention. Before you fall asleep, you program your mind with a clear and firm intention to become lucid during your dream. You can mentally repeat a mantra like, "Tonight, when I am dreaming, I will realize that I am dreaming." This mental programming acts like an internal alarm clock that is designed to wake up your awareness during the astral experience. The early morning hours, after you've already had a few cycles of sleep, are especially conducive to lucid dreaming. If you wake up naturally in the middle of the night or in the early morning, and then go back to sleep, your body is relaxed, but your consciousness is more alert. It's during this time that many people have their first spontaneous lucid experiences. So if you wake up, try to go back to sleep while holding the clear intention to become lucid. When you do have your first lucid experience, you might feel such a rush of euphoria and excitement that you wake yourself up immediately. It's very important to try to stay calm. You can stabilize the dream by rubbing your astral hands together, spinning around your own axis, or focusing intently on the details of the dream environment. These techniques help to ground you in the experience and prolong your lucidity. Once you're settled and stable in a lucid dream, you can begin to consciously explore. You can fly to other countries, visit impossible, fantastical dimensions, or even attempt to travel to the past or the future. The experience you have will depend entirely on your intention and your level of spiritual development. But here is something absolutely crucial to understand. In a lucid dream, you are navigating real dimensions. There are also another risk and of course, there is the danger of encountering negative entities during a lucid dream. When you are conscious in the astral plane, you may attract the attention of beings that normally wouldn't be interested in you. It's like turning on a bright light in a dark room. You become much more visible. That is why mastering spiritual protection techniques is an essential prerequisite before you decide to dive deep into the world of lucid dreaming. But when it's practiced wisely and with pure intention, lucid dreaming can tremendously accelerate your spiritual growth. You can consciously seek out your spiritual guides and ask them for guidance. You can request specific healing for emotional traumas. You can explore hidden aspects of your own personality that are buried deep in your subconscious. One of the most transformative experiences a person can have in a lucid dream is to meet their own higher self, the wisest, most elevated aspect of their own soul. This encounter can result in profound, life-altering insights about your life's purpose, your hidden talents, and your unique spiritual mission. Many people also use lucid dreams to practice skills, to confront their fears in a safe environment, or to resolve inner conflicts. You can relive a traumatic situation from a new, empowered perspective. You can finally forgive those who have hurt you. You can even rehearse. The development of dream lucidity is a gradual process that requires patience and consistent practice. Some people might see results in just a few days. For others, it might take months or even years. What matters most is staying consistent and maintaining a pure, heartfelt intention. Every small moment of lucidity is a victory and a step towards mastering this incredible skill. Once you do master lucid dreaming, your entire relationship with sleep will change completely. You will no longer see those 8 hours as wasted time, but as a precious and sacred opportunity for spiritual growth, healing, and exploration. So, after understanding all the potential dangers that can exist during your nightly journeys, it's absolutely essential to know how to protect yourself. Spiritual protection during sleep is not optional. It is an absolute necessity for anyone who is seeking to have safe and transformative astral experiences. The first and most important protection technique is the energetic purification of the space where you sleep. Your bedroom is not just a physical space. It is an energetic portal that can either attract or repel different types of entities. You should start by removing any objects from your room that carry negative energy. This could be photos from conflicted past relationships, gifts from people who have hurt you, or any item that brings up painful memories when you look at it. The energetic cleansing of your bedroom should be done regularly, not just when something feels wrong. You can use simple but powerful techniques like burning white sage or Palo Santo incense, spraying salt water in the corners of the room, or simply opening the windows to let fresh air and sunlight circulate. These simple practices remove stagnant, heavy energies and create an environment that is much more conducive to positive spiritual experiences. Protective crystals are also powerful tools for creating energetic barriers. Crystals like amethyst, rose quartz, black tourmaline, and obsidian are especially effective for nighttime protection. You can place them strategically around your bed, or even put one in each of the four corners of the room to create a circle of protection. Each of these crystals has a specific function. Amethyst elevates the vibration of the space. Rose quartz brings in the energy of love and healing. Black tourmaline blocks negative energies, and obsidian can help to cut unwanted energetic ties. But the most powerful protection always comes from within. It comes from your own energetic and spiritual state. Before you go to bed, you should always perform a personal energy cleansing. One of the simplest ways to do this is to visualize a brilliant, bright white light enveloping your entire body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. This light should be so intense and so bright that no shadow or negativity can penetrate it. Maintain this visualization for at least 5 minutes, really feeling the protection being established around you. Prayer is one of humanity's oldest and most effective tools for protection. It doesn't matter what your specific religious or spiritual beliefs are. The act of consciously connecting with a higher force before you sleep creates a powerful energetic barrier. You can use traditional prayers, or you can create your own words from the heart. What matters is the sincere intention to seek divine protection. A simple and effective prayer could be something like, I ask for divine protection during my sleep. May only beings of light and love approach me. May my soul be guided only to experiences that contribute to my highest spiritual growth. May I be shielded from any and all negative influences during my nightly journeys. Creating a consistent nighttime protection ritual establishes a habit that your soul will come to recognize as a signal of safety. This ritual can be as simple as taking a relaxing bath with Epsom salts, burning a specific incense, reading spiritual texts, or just spending a few minutes in silent meditation. The important thing is that it's something you do consistently, creating an energetic anchor of protection. Another powerful technique is the creation of an energy shield around your bed. Before you get in, visualize a golden or silver bubble of light completely surrounding your bed, creating a sacred, protected zone where only positive energies are allowed to enter. This bubble should be semi-permeable, allowing good and helpful influences in, but completely blocking any negative or harmful energy. Always try to keep a glass of pure water near your bed, preferably with a pinch of sea salt in it. Water is a natural purifying element that is known to absorb negative energies from the environment. You should change this water every morning. Discarding it down the toilet, never drink it or use it on plants, as it may contain the heavy energies it has absorbed during the night. Your emotional state right before you fall asleep is absolutely crucial for your protection. You should never, ever go to sleep feeling angry, afraid, sad, or holding on to any intense negative emotion. These emotions are like energetic beacons that attract parasitic entities. If you've had a difficult day, do some energy work before you sleep. Forgive those who have hurt you. Consciously release the worries of the day. And most importantly, cultivate feelings of gratitude and love. Gratitude is one of the highest and most protective energetic frequencies that exists. Before you fall asleep, make it a practice to give thanks for at least 3 good things that happened during your day, no matter how small. This practice not only raises your personal vibration, but it also creates a natural, powerful barrier against negative energies. Parasitic entities simply cannot withstand the high frequency of genuine gratitude. Completely avoid watching horror movies, reading negative news, or having conflict-filled conversations right before you go to sleep. These activities dramatically lower your energetic frequency and can attract negative experiences during sleep. Instead, choose activities that will raise your vibration. Listen to soft, calming music, read something inspiring, or just spend some time in silent contemplation. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you realize you are being attacked by a negative entity during sleep, for example, in a state of sleep paralysis, there is a highly effective emergency technique. You must mentally, or, if you can, verbally affirm with all the force and conviction you can muster, "I am a being of light. I am love. I am protected." Repeat this with all the strength you have. This affirmation, when done with enough power and belief, can instantly break any energetic attack. Remember that you always have more power than any negative entity. Fear is the only thing that can make you vulnerable. We have now reached the most crucial point of this entire revelation. It is not a coincidence that you are discovering this information at this exact moment in human history. There is an urgent planetary reason why this ancient knowledge about the soul's nightly journeys is being revealed to so many people right now. And it has to do with a global transformation that is happening right under our noses. Humanity is currently undergoing an unprecedented rise in collective consciousness. Our planet's vibrational frequency is rapidly increasing, and this is creating profound changes in how our souls behave during sleep. People who have never had any spiritual experiences in their lives are beginning to have spontaneous lucid dreams, encounters with beings of light, and are gaining access to information that completely transcends their personal experience. But here is what very few people realize. This elevation in consciousness is also making the veil between the planes thinner, which is making it easier for negative entities to connect with our energy. It's as if the membrane between the dimensions is becoming more permeable. People who have never had any issues with astral parasites are now beginning to be attacked. During their sleep, children are having more intense and frequent nightmares. Adults are waking up feeling more exhausted than ever before. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct consequence of the energetic war that is happening in the invisible realms. The forces that benefit from human unconsciousness and fear are intensifying their attacks, precisely because they know that humanity is awakening. It is a final, desperate battle between light and shadow, and the main battlefield is our nightly experiences. That is why it is absolutely crucial that you learn how to protect yourself and how to consciously use your nightly journeys for your own growth. It is no longer enough to simply go to sleep and hope that everything goes well. You must become an active and conscious participant in what happens during your sleep. Your spiritual evolution, and perhaps even your mental and emotional sanity, depends on it. Your soul has guided you to this information, because the time has come for you to awaken to your true power and potential. What you do with this knowledge will determine not only the course of your own life, but also your unique contribution to the great awakening of humanity.